What is up, Pitt fans? Thank you so much for tuning in to Inside the Panthers on YouTube. My name is Stephen Thompson, coming to you from the Peterson Event Center with another Inside Pitt post-game report. The Panthers have just knocked off Purdue Fort Wayne in their final non-conference game of the regular season. They won 62-48. It was a little touch and go. I guess not necessarily touch and go. That's probably not the right word to describe it, but it was ugly. This was far from the Panthers' strongest performance of the year, but especially offensively. But they found a way to win. They really leaned on their defense, and they finish non-conference play 9-3, 9-2 in the non-conference. At this point, they are 9-3 with the loss to Clemson, already an ACC team on the resume, but riding a little bit of momentum. They have won, I believe. Let's see if we can run down the schedule real quick. They have won ever since that Clemson loss. They have won 4 in a row. To wrap up the non-conference schedule, and they get 9 days of rest before traveling up to face Syracuse in their real ACC opener. Kind of the beginning of the rest of the way is ACC games. So they feel really confident. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways. I mean, Jeff Capel was asked point blank, like, is there something else that this team needs to know about themselves? Is there something else that they need to do to make you confident, to make you feel like this is a team ready for the slog of ACC play? And he said no, quite honestly. He said they needed rest. They need to get whole. They need to, you know, be ready to go when that grind of ACC play comes. But as far as the actual basketball things, as far as the roster construction and the lineups and the way everyone's playing right now, Jeff Capel's really confident that he's got a team that's ready to take on that challenge, and he's got a team that he thinks is pretty good. As far as this game goes, I really want to start with Zack Austin, who I thought was really the story of the game and has been the story of the past 2 games. Obviously, got bench started the first 10 games of the year, been coming off the bench in the past 2, and it's been a dramatic difference for him going from that role as a starter to that role as a bench guy. I mean, his first 10 games, all of them starts, he was averaging 6.3 points per game, 5.4 rebounds a game, zero point 0.6 assists, 1.4 blocks. He was making just 39% of his overall field goals, 20% of his 3-point field goals. And now he's averaging 12 points per game in these last 2 games where he's coming off the bench. He's got 5.5 rebounds, 1 assist, a block and a half. He's shooting north of 50% from the field, and he's shooting 33% from 3 on limited attempts, but still, like, this is improved efficiency. He's playing with a better motor. He's an impact defender, not just blocking shots, but just every kind of play to play, manning up and guarding his guy. He's been really good in that area. It's interesting just to see in real time a player get challenged, a player get called out, a player be told that he's not doing well enough, and then immediately respond in exactly the way that coaches were hoping for. He took the coaching from Jeff Capel, from I assume the rest of the coaching staff, really in stride, and took something that I think could have been really easily construed as a negative, that could have made a lot of guys shrink and think that they're not able to crack it at this level. Remember, this is a guy coming from, I believe, high points in the Southern Conference. So this is a guy who, there was no guarantees that he was going to be able to play at an ACC level. And I think he learned that it required a little bit more effort than it did at High Point to be as good as he was. And that was one of the biggest things that I think, Jeff Capel's comments and even Austin's comments, he talked to us after the game, have kind of revealed to me, was that he had to be kind of told that it takes more to play really well at this level. You have to keep that motor up consistently. You can't take plays off. You have to go a little bit harder. The athleticism, it's a little bit more of an even playing field. So for a guy who's super athletic, that's a tough thing to adjust to. And clearly it just kind of took him some time. But I think there's also something to him coming off the bench that really helps him, just maybe puts a little bit less pressure on him to score. It lets him kind of come into the flow of the game while it's already happening. He doesn't kind of have to set the tone. He can respond to what the team needs, which I think has really helped him tonight. Another strong game, just 12 points, 6 rebounds. He's 4-6 from the field, made all of his free throws, made one of his 2 3-point attempts, had a couple really nice passes, I thought, too. I thought he made great decisions with the ball and when to move it. And, he was really pleased with his play. His coach was really pleased with his play. And I think the most kind of telling thing was at the very end of his opening statement, Jeff Capel said, it's awesome when Zach plays like this, because we are different when he plays like this, when he calls playing with force, just, being a little bit more assertive, but smart at the same time. It's, playing with force, I think, kind of means aggressive, but in control. And Austin, I think at certain points when he was struggling, was just trying to be aggressive and forgetting the in control part. And now he's kind of finding the right balance. He's finding what his role is on this team and what they need from him, and he's really thriving in that role. Another interesting thing, I mean, on the kind of opposite end of the spectrum, Blake Hinson did not shoot very well tonight, just 2 attempts from the field, 0-4 from three. I mean, that's not going to happen very often, but he still kind of impacts the game in a lot of ways. I mean, I asked Jeff Capel about it, and you can easily point to the 10 rebounds. He was the leading rebounder on the team far and away, leading rebounder in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he was, which was crucial for this game where, I mean, as a team, they didn't shoot very well at all, just 2 of 20 from 3-point range. But he was huge for helping them control the defensive glass, finish defensive possessions. And then, he also has a gravity to him. Jeff Capel said he pulls defenders away even when he's not scoring because we all know Blake is liable to erupt at any moment. So you can't leave him alone. And so you can't he's not a guy that you can help off of if he's having an off night. So he still has a way that he has multiple ways really that he can impact the game, even when he's not scoring like we're all used to. This is really, I mean, to kind of piggyback off of that, and when I talked about the defensive rebounding, how important that is to finishing possessions and controlling the glass is part of playing good defense because the Panthers played really good defense today against a team that was really, in the top 25, top 20 of a lot of offensive, metrics and analytics coming into this game. This was a team that I think had the highest average scoring. They scored the most points in all of college basketball coming into this game. And, the proof is in the pudding. They scored 48 points. They shot 5 of 26 from three. They got like astoundingly decimated on the glass. Pitt was plus 21 in rebounding. This team just wasn't really able to play in space and play quickly as they would have liked. That's what their head coach John Goffman said after the game. It's just that they weren't able to turn Pitt over as much as they might have liked. I mean, they still forced 13 turnovers, but that's not really a number or a total that they are used to seeing from their opponents. They're used to, creating live ball turnovers and forcing things, forcing the issue in the fast break. I mean, they also only scored 7 points in fast breaks. So, Pitt did a great job of just kind of, individual defense. I thought William Jeffers really set the tone early. I think he forced 3 turnovers in his first, I want to say 5 minutes on the floor, in his first kind of shift before coming out for the first time. And then the rest of the team kind of followed right behind him. I mean, everyone kind of took pride in their individual assignments. Jeff Capel was really happy with the way they followed the scouting report and the way the bigs played off of the guards. There was kind of a cohesive defensive effort that kind of started from the top down against a team that is really guard heavy, but they love to get to the rim as well. And when the perimeter guys are taking pride in their defensive assignment, when they're staying in front of their man, it makes things easier on the bigs who don't have to shift over and help. It doesn't create open lanes for a good passing team. So the Panthers did a really good job there. You can also point to only 6 assists on 20 made field goals, even when Fort Wayne did score, they had to do it, ISO. They had to beat their man individually. They had to make more difficult shots than the Panthers or than the Mastodons really wanted to take. So a really stifling defensive effort. I think the fact that Pitt's really long and big and just has such an extreme size advantage really helped them. But I think the process was also good, and I think they played pretty good defense regardless of kind of their advantage in talent and size. And I think the last thing I want to touch on is, something I've written about, I've talked about a little bit on social media, but Jeff Capel with this win, he is now 84-84 all time as Pitt's head coach. On the surface, not a particularly impressive record. But I think we all know where this thing started in 2018. And I think we all watched him lose quite a bit. He lost 69, I believe, of his first 120 games. And then over the past, 2 seasons, he's now won 32, I believe, no, 33, of his last 47 games. That's pretty remarkable. My math might be off on that, but he is, he went from about a 42% win percentage to north of 65 over these past 2 seasons. Those first 4 seasons are kind of drifting further and further out of our memory. And, he has to own kind of the struggles of the past. He has to own all those losses he took during those first 4 years. But I think reaching this point, you're able to kind of take a step back and you're able to think, maybe this guy has arrived, you know? Maybe this is kind of what a stable program looks like again. This is a program with that's not just winning, you know, that didn't just go to an NCAA tournament last year and compete for any come within a game, really, one game of an ACC regular season title, and won 2 games in the NCAA tournament. You know, it's more than that. It's more than the team that's gotten off to a decent start this year. I think he's given them hope as well. He's given this fan base hope. He has kind of reignited some of the passion around this team as well, and just uh, you know, gave this team what this program what it desperately needed. And so while he's got to own all those losses in the past of over those first 4 years, he also gets to own all these wins that he's racking up now. And I think just getting back to even is such a unique place to be in. It's such a special place to be in. It just feels different, you know. It feels settling, reassuring, you know, whatever word you want to use. I mean, I think you could chalk up last year to maybe a fluke. You know, they had a certain type of player, that a certain roster that had, you know, a certain kind of that a certain formula for winning that didn't seem sustainable beyond that year. But he has done more than just, I think, turn in a fluke year and, you know, earn himself a little bit more time to run out the clock. But he's kind of created a program here. He's created a future, and he's got a good foundation here. So who knows what the rest of the you know, the rest of his time in Pittsburgh has in store for him. But I think it's notable that we've gotten to this point. You know, that he has crawled, that he's fought so hard, and he's been around so long that he got the chance to kind of pull himself and pull this program out of a pretty dark place and a pretty ugly place. I just remember that, you know, ACC tournament loss to Boston College, and just how tense the post game press conferences were. You saw a guy with his back against the wall, and he's capitalized on that opportunity and more. And I think really lifted this program up out of a bad place. So just think it's notable to think about the journey, and I think you also got to give Jeff Capel credit for what he's done to get to that point. But appreciate you all tuning in to another Inside Pitt post game report. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to us on YouTube. That's youtube.com/@InsideThePanthers, and follow all of our reporting at InsideThePanthers.com. Like I said, appreciate you all tuning in, and I'll see you next time.